In this video, we are going to find the missing side of a right triangle and we'll round the answer to the nearest tenth. Okay, the given problem is over here. This is a right triangle. We have angle here. One angle is given whose measure is 23 degrees. And they also gave us the hypotenuse, which is 17 units. And we are going to find the measure of this side, that is x. Okay, so first let us identify our opposite side, hypotenuse, and adjacent side. And like we already know that in any right triangle, the longest side is the hypotenuse. Here you have this one is the longest, that is 17. And you also know that longest side is opposite of this 90 degrees. So both ways you are convinced that this 17 is the hypotenuse. Now next thing is I'm looking for the adjacent side with reference to this angle 23. If for this angle 23, you know that one side is always the hypotenuse, the other side is the adjacent side. So this is how we always try to label. First, try to identify the hypotenuse. Secondly, you go for the adjacent side. Once you have your H and A, the third one is the opposite side. You can locate very easily. In this case, you know this is the opposite side. Alright, once again, with reference to this angle 23 degrees, we have opposite side over here, the adjacent side on your right, you can see in this case, and the hypotenuse. Okay, now our next task is to verify and find which of these three trigonometric ratios I'm going to use. Do I have to use a sine or cosine or tangent? One of these three trig ratios I can use to find the values of x, but which one? So in order to identify that, I have to go back to this angle 23. We have this angle 23 degrees here. So with reference to angle 23 degrees, I'm looking for the adjacent side. We are looking for the adjacent side. And what is the given info for us? They gave us the hypotenuse. So hypotenuse is given, looking for the adjacent side. That is, you are dealing with A and H. That is, you are dealing with A, that is the adjacent side, and the hypotenuse. So out of these three ratios, where do you find A and H? That is, here in the first, I have sine, which is dealing with opposite and over hypotenuse. Cosine is dealing with adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, that A and H, I am finding it here. That is the cosine ratio. So cosine theta equal to adjacent side over hypotenuse. Let us make use of this ratio, cosine. Okay, I'll go ahead and write here. That is cosine theta is adjacent side over hypotenuse. Now that cosine here, the angle is 23 degrees. So let me write cosine 23 degrees equal to your adjacent side is x, unknown value, we are going to find it, over the hypotenuse, that is 17. So using this trig ratio, we came up with an equation now. So this is an equation with a variable x. X is the unknown thing we are going to find. We can find the value of cosine 23 using calculator. So x is the only thing that I don't know. So in order to find the value of x, I must take away 17 from the denominator. How do you take away 17 from the denominator? We just multiply by 17 so that they get cancelled. If I do something on the right hand side, do the same thing on the left hand side. So what we did here in this, we multiply both sides by 17. Okay, so by multiplying both sides by 17, we observed that this 17 and that 17 got cancelled. You can see that. So resulting 17 times cosine 23 degrees is equal to x. So this value of x now I can find using a calculator. Okay, let me pull up calculator. So I have it here. Now x equal to 17 times cosine 23. Type in 17. Okay, let me turn it on. 17 times cosine 23 degrees. Make sure that you are in the mode of degrees here, that is the degree, right? So that's fine. 17 times cosine 23 is 15.6485. Let me write x equal to, I have x is equal to 15 point how much, 648,582, etc. So 15.6485, etc. I have, but because they are asking us to round it to the nearest tenth, I can as well say that the value of x here is 15.6 units, whatever units, whether inches or centimeters. So this is the value of x. This x is 15.6. Okay, so that's how you find the value of x. Here, sometimes in short, without this multiplying by 17, you can also just say, if the variable is on the numerator, just multiply those two numbers. That's like cross multiplication, 17 times cosine 23 degrees, and you'll get your answer. Now let us look at another example. In this problem, they are asking us to find the value of x, the same type of question. Triangle is different. So let us quickly locate what are our three sides, what we have here. Like in this, 90 degrees over there. So I have here, that is hypotenuse. I can adjust HYP or just hypotenuse. H is fine. Now for this angle 75 degrees, one side is the hypo, so the other side is adjacent side, and from 75 all the way across there, the third side is your opposite side. So in the same order you maintain. First locate your hypotenuse, then using the given angle locate your adjacent side. The third one is the remaining, which is opposite side. Now in this figure, with reference to angle 75 degrees, you are looking for x, which is the opposite side, and what is given to us? Given adjacent side. So given A, you are looking for O. Where do I see that O and A? Say without hypo, I can see that O and A over here. We are not dealing with the hypotenuse in this case. Sine and cosine ratios, they have denominator hypotenuse, but in this, only in the tangent, you don't have the hypotenuse, and that is the ratio we picked in this case. So I'll write tangent 75. Directly I'm writing of tangent 75. What is my formula? Opposite side over adjacent side, that is TOA. Tangent is opposite over adjacent side. Tan 75 equal to my opposite side is x and the adjacent side is 10. Now again we see 10 in the denominator. So what is the thing? Multiply both sides by 10. Thereby you are able to cancel 10 over here, because numerator 10, denominator 10, they got cancelled, leaving behind x is equal to 10 times tan 75. Now use your calculator. Here I'll write 10 times, I'm typing in times, that is times tan 75, which gives you 37.3205. Okay, so I'll write 37.320, etc. Because it is nearest to 10th, I can just write down 37.3 units. That is, if 10 inches, that value of x is 37 inches. That is the value of x. So the most important thing I'm saying here, that I have to look at the sides and then identify the ratio. Whichever trig ratio you are using, if you can identify very easily, you can solve your problem. Okay. Now let us look at one more example. In this case, we are looking for the hypotenuse. And what is given to us with reference to this angle 53 degrees? You know this x is your hypotenuse. If x is the hypotenuse for this angle, the remaining side is the adjacent, and the third one is your opposite side. So you are looking for the hypotenuse given the opposite side. That is, you are dealing with O and H, which I can see here. Sine theta equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, that is SOH. Right, so I'll quickly write off my sine here. The angle is 53. Sine of this angle 53 equal to opposite side is 12 and the hypotenuse is a x. Next step, this denominator x I have to cancel. So once I have this sine 53 equal to 12 over x, and this became an equation. I just use our knowledge of solving equations. Because that variable x is in the denominator, I can just multiply both sides by x, and we also know that x has a value. It is not 0 or anything, so we are good. You can have x in the denominator. Now multiply both sides by x. So in this case, I multiplied, so x and x got cancelled. You are left with x times sine 53 degrees equal to 12. Now in this equation, still you have x here, and that x is multiplied with the sine 53. And you know that sine 53 is a constant value. So I have to take away this sine 53 from the left hand side. So in order to cancel it off, because it is multiplied here with x, I have to divide, do the opposite thing to cancel it out. So you divided the left hand side by sine 53 degrees. So do the same thing on the right hand side. Divide by sine 53. Okay. on dividing, on the left hand side sine 53 degrees and sine 53 cancel. So you have now x equal to 12 over sine 53 degrees. Now use your calculator to find the value of x. I'll write 12. Let me type in 12 divide sine 53 degrees, close the parenthesis. That gives you 15.0256. 15.0256. So round it to the nearest tenth, they are saying. Therefore the value of x is equal to 15.0 units. This is your answer, the value of x. Okay, right.